Hi everyone, I'm Antriksh Kumar and I welcome you today on the webinar series Illuminate by Meritto. For all those people who are joining who don't know about Meritto, Meritto is the student enrollment platform where colleges and educational institutes can nurture students, grow their revenue, scale their council productivity, boost their student experience, optimize marketing spend, and increase their enrollments worldwide. Trusted by over 1,200 educational institutes across verticals, right from the higher education, study abroad, EdTech, coaching centers, K-12, Meritto empowers all the sales, marketing, finance, admin, and other verticals to grow their overall revenue, their paid applications, their overall enrollments, and student experience, which they deliver via online processing. And all those people who are new to the Meritto, we process over more than 1 billion student engagements, over 5 million applications worldwide. So today we have a very special guest, Aditi Mathur from Meta. So Aditi Mathur is heading the WhatsApp payments in Meta. Hi Aditi, welcome to the Eliminate by Meritto.
Hi, Antriksh. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Thank you for your presence. So Aditi, so let me give you a brief introduction. Aditi is in Meta since last many years, and she is heading the payments business in Meta. Aditi, over to you. Can you please give you a short introduction to the audience?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm part of Meta, like Antriksh mentioned, and I largely am part of the WhatsApp business messaging group. So that's the team that you see that really drives a lot of the interactions and chatbots that you see on the platform, the conversations that are happening, or conversational commerce, as we call it, between businesses and WhatsApp users. Within business messaging for India as a whole, I drive business development, go-to-market, and sales with a focus on payments related use cases, right? Since that's really the final leg of the interactions, many of for the businesses, that's where maximum ROI would come out of for seamless transactions, collections from your end users. So that's what I look at, but we'll be happy to talk about all things WhatsApp and Meta today.
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. So I'm Antriksh Kumar. I'm from the customer growth team in Meritto. Okay, so I'm working here since the last 5 years, working across educational organizations, across verticals, right from the higher education, study abroad, EdTech, consultants, and coaching centers, including K-12 also. So today we have a very special topic, how WhatsApp can play a larger role in student engagement across the student life cycle. So my first and very important question to Aditi. So as you know that the communication technology is evolving since last many years. What kind of role WhatsApp can play in the student nurturing processes across the education industry?
Yeah, so again, I think WhatsApp's also been and gone through a journey, right? It started off as the preferred communication channel as a very personal app between friends and family, but our sole aim has to be, and our guiding principle has to be to, create an application which is very simple and easy for any age group, any demographic, right, across the country to be able to utilize it. And with COVID, we've also seen a lot of that transition to customers or users be very comfortable interacting with businesses on the platform. So WhatsApp as a channel has gone through its own transformation, right? From being a personal app to now having over 1 billion users globally that interact with businesses on a daily basis. So that's the scale and level of interactions that are happening. And our vision is to really become the primary channel of communication, even between businesses and users. If I may say, we're already the preferred channel of communication from a personal standpoint, right, where customers are truly engaged. Now, of course, we've seen WhatsApp be leveraged across different industries, right? And that's where like education is one critical industry where WhatsApp can really be impactful and be leveraged, because historically, otherwise, we see there's a lot of broken thread, right, across the student life cycle. So a student may search on Google for different kinds of colleges that they want to go to. Then they may go to the college websites to explore about courses. Then they may finally, fill in the application form in person, right? They have to print out a copy and then submit it to the institute in person. Right. And then they have different CRMs and different tools that they need to use throughout the life cycle, right? While they're at college to engage, be it for assignments, be it for fees, payments, etc. Now we see this really broken, so it's very hard to continue to engage with the customer. Whereas if you use Meta and the family of apps, it's one persistent, consistent thread that you're looking at, right? So what you can do as an institution is proactively and in a very targeted manner, leverage all of the three apps, right? Which is WhatsApp, but also Instagram and Facebook. So educational institutions can actually do a lot of the discovery, right? Run ads on Facebook as well as Instagram. So the customer, and this can be done at a targeted manner. So if it's a parent, if it's a student, you can sort of run different kinds of ads. Then when they click on the ad, you can bring them into WhatsApp, right? So you can actually then capture the person's user, phone number. You can capture details about the customer. So that's lead generation in a way. For all of your, call centers and sales reps to be able to get many quality leads just through Instagram and Facebook, because that's really where your parents and students are, right? And they're browsing day in, day out, spending a lot of time. And then once they're within WhatsApp, you have their details, you know what they were browsing. You can actually ask them very targeted questions to see what they're interested in, and actually have targeted journeys built across, within WhatsApp for different use cases. It could be exploration of courses. It could be really looking at videos of, or take a tour of the campus. It could be, very pictures that can tell them about placements that are happening once students graduate from the college. So different ways to actually engage the student across, right? Just from discovery, consideration, but also once they pay the application and join your college, you can continue to sort of have interactions from updates around placements, updates about interviews, on homework assignments, etc. Right? I know Meritto has even launched a card product called Pix. So making a plug there, which I thought was really cool, because you can actually have the student engaged with you at multiple different levels, and just the amount of stickiness that has. So it also builds a lot of customer behavior there, and can continue that re-engagement cycle. So you continue to sort of engage with them on WhatsApp through really different use cases that we're happy to continue to deep dive with you on.
Sure. So you rightly mentioned few important pointers like discovery, then engagement, and other consideration and all. So Meta has suite of products. Our audience wants to understand at what particular stage which particular product should be used. For example, let's say they have certain set of raw data available. Okay, so they have acquired a certain data from the market, and they want to identify that which particular student is interested in taking the admission, or they have a registered database, all those people who have shown interest in the organization, and they just want to take up the application form and all those things. So at what particular product should be used for at the discovery stage, what at the consideration or engagement stage? Can you help us with that?
Yeah, so I think it's a mix, right? So on discovery, I think what really works, and a lot of industries as well as organizations are seeing higher ROI and lower CAC when they use this sort of mix of WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. So I would say in the early days, when you have to, identify new users where you don't have a database or existing user base, is when you use Facebook or Instagram. Because that's where you can actually put in, right? You can keep it broad to say this is the age group, whether it's male, female, which locations, which areas, and then you can have ads that are targeted to them across the country. So you're not limited to only your database. So for discovery consideration, I think those are great channels for you to get net new enrollments or new students and parents to come to your platform, right, and engage with you. And then I would say, for the continuous loop, right? Once you have the customer's details, then you can continue to engage with them on WhatsApp. Right? And the more granular detail that's relevant to your business you can gather, that really would help to build very targeted journeys, which would be helpful, right? For example, if this is a student, You can then share campus videos. You can share what the life at the campus would be, right? Things that that would really excite them. If it's a parent, you would tell them about the security around the campus, about what the placements look like, about who the faculty is, etc. as well. And that all can happen on WhatsApp. Right? Because we have a whole suite of product features on WhatsApp itself. So it's not necessarily a messaging back and forth. You can actually send videos, you can send audio notes, you can actually, send forms. So to capture information from customers. So I would say then from, a whole engagement standpoint, WhatsApp's beneficial. Then when you come to re-engagement, upselling, cross-selling, is where again you can go back, and for the same users you can use marketing messages within WhatsApp, right? So we have a lot of features with carousels, etc., where you can then the UI UX, etc., can be interesting to really intrigue it. We would say less text, more visuals, with the Gen Z and the next generation that you see. They don't want to read too much. So I think just the more engaging and rich media that you use would really help with retargeting them, right? Plus continue to have offers, incentives, anything to sort of catch the attention and drive better conversion. All of that for existing users. Once you have any details regarding their phone number or why did they come to your website, that retargeting cycle can continue on WhatsApp.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the detailed explanation about the discovery stage and consideration and engagement. And then we will also have some other questions from the audience also. Please post your questions in the chat. We will take it up. It's an open webinar where we'll be engaging across topics. You can also raise your queries. We are happy to answer them. Right. So yeah, very interesting poll. Before we proceed ahead, to the entire audience, what's your top priority when using WhatsApp for student recruitment? So we have multiple options like increasing response rates, automating follow-ups, reducing drop-offs, scaling communication while maintaining personalization, and all of the above. Please help us with the answer so that we can have a ground understanding that how people are actually using WhatsApp integrated with Meritto. So Aditi, till the time people are answering the question, you have very well explained the discovery stage, then the consideration and engagement stage. And in the discovery stage where database is not available, it's preferred to have larger engagement over Facebook and Instagram, where it's completely open. Any of the audience can be reached out. There is no limitation. And people can engage their Facebook and Instagram frequently. And then once the leads are captured, then the nurturing process right from the interested lead will be done on WhatsApp. Correct?
That's right.
Correct. We request everyone to please submit your responses so that we can collate it and proceed ahead. Right. Wow. So we have our answers, Aditi. So many people use WhatsApp for student recruitment, all of the above. Obviously, that's an
Increasing response rates.
Increasing response rates, automating follow-up. I think this is very much aligned to our discussion that all of the above.
Yeah.
None of the most interesting factor is none of the person is using WhatsApp Business API to reduce the drop-off. See, that's an important area. Even after the post-enrollment journey, we will discuss afterwards of how you can leverage WhatsApp after post-enrollment and automating follow-ups and increasing responses. Let's move forward and discuss this, Aditi. So I just want to understand, people are using WhatsApp across the journeys, like when the student is registering on the website, then submitting the application form, making payments, or taking the admission. What's the perspective of Meta? How you want to holistically let the people know that they should utilize WhatsApp in such a way. So do you have any certain perspective that this is the meta's expectation of the education industry, that in such scenario WhatsApp should be utilized?
Yeah, so again, I don't think there's any specific areas where, you know, WhatsApp cannot be utilized, right? But what I would say is where it works, right, and where you can see higher response rates, etc., or more engagement, is when we see businesses really take a very targeted approach, right, versus a spray and pray. So the one size does not fit all, right? So if you're sending the same message to say, you know, hi, I'm from this university, and, you know, please explore my campus or courses, right? Plain vanilla sort of messages do not really fly, because then the customer or the end user also sees it as spam. Right,
Mhm.
it's saying, why is this user, why is this business, why is this you know, institution reaching out to me without my consent? Where did they get my information, etc.? Right, because they don't always remember where they may have given you consent.
Right.
And that's why I think if you can make it very targeted to say, we saw you came to our website, or we met you at X event, or we noticed that you were browsing, this was, you know, or you were interested in this, or you raised a query, here is more details about it, right? Or you were looking at this course and now it's, you know, an X% off. You had put it in cart, it's cart abandoned, right? As a key use case, right? Where a lot of students are just browsing and doing courses online. They may have added items in cart, but not proceeded with it. So you can actually send them a nudge to say, we noticed that you didn't check this out, and now there's an offer going on, etc. Or this can help you get XYZ placements, and help create your career. So I think you need to be very, very thoughtful and targeted when interacting with these customers, because if they see it as spam and once they block you on WhatsApp, it's very hard to get that engagement, right? Then that account is lost, because then WhatsApp doesn't come in between. That's how we are maintaining the health of the app. So we
Right.
can't unblock the user. But I would say WhatsApp truly, right, is effective when it's very targeted. So I wouldn't say you can completely replace your website with WhatsApp, right? Like, given the number of products, SKUs, different things that are required, right? I'm sure all of that catalog browsing, just the scale of it, a website is probably better suited. But where you can leverage WhatsApp is if you know the person, you know their interests, is where you're really in a targeted manner, use carousels, use videos, use AI, to really take the name of the person, make them feel like you know them, and you see what their interests are, and then target them, is where you'll get a lot better engagement on the platform and higher returns as well.
Right. So I am just noting down the special points which Aditi has mentioned. I like to reiterate them and explain to the larger audience. So the first major point which Aditi has mentioned is, please stop doing blind broadcast. WhatsApp is not meant for blind broadcast to a large set of audience like 20 lakh people or 40 lakh people with a random one message that we are a particular organization, please do register. So how using how you can engage with students is, please deploy marketing automations with personalized content. Marketing automations as in, let's say there is a new lead who has registered for the organization, then you can send them a welcome message with the personalization. In case someone has done the started the application form, then you need to inform that dear Antresh, thank you for initiating the application form, your application form is still pending, please submit it. Or in case someone has done the application submission, then the content should be different. So you should be engaging and deploying separate content, separate templates across the stages of the student journey, and personalized student activity based template should be triggered. That's the first point. Rather than going for, let's say you have 10 lakh people in your database who have registered, but they have not taken the admission. So rather than sending a standard message to those 10 lakh people that we can see that you have not taken the admission, please take next step, you should be sending personalized communication with respect to the kind of engagement they have already built, at what particular stage they are. In case they are at the application stage, please submit the application. In case they are at the payment stage, please make the payment. In case they are at the submission stage, please do the submission. So it should be a personalized content, and the course should also be defined. For example, if someone is interested in BTech course or MBA course or BCA course, then the template should be different. In case the lead has been acquired by a publisher, then you should specifically mention that, dear Antriksh, we have received your inquiry via publishershiksha.com. Thank you for showing your interest in ABC University. Please start the application form. So personalization and templatization is very important. Rather than going bulk, have separate templates, personalized engagement with respect to every stage of the automation, right? And the second most important point is opt-in. Please, whenever a student is registering on the website or submitting his inquiry, the first and most important message should be with the opt-in message. Let's say Antriksh has registered on ABC institution. So the first message is, dear Antriksh, thank you for submitting the application form. Reply with stop in case you want to unsubscribe from the WhatsApp communication. So such kind of opt-in functionality should be deployed so that students are proactively submitting their responses. And most important point is meta algorithms. So Aditi has mentioned that as per meta algorithms, rather than plain vanilla text templates, visual templates are preferred the most. Visual templates as in the rich media, having some brochure, having some image, having some video, those should be preferred. I think that can help our larger audience. Aditi, please add in case you want to add anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's what we've also observed, right? Changing preferences of the end users, which is
Right.
why we are also doing a lot more the rich features that we're adding. So the more visuals and more visually appealing you can make these messages versus just plain text, the more engagement you will see on the platform.
Correct. So Aditi, the next question the audience have is, let's say they have a defined budget, right? Let's say ABC institution has defined that I will invest 5 crore rupees for the WhatsApp engagement this year. So what the general practice in the education industry is, they subscribe five of that 5 crore budget, they subscribe entirely only the marketing messages. They prefer email for utility, they prefer SMS for utility, all the transactional for marketing purpose. Just because WhatsApp has the highest engagement rate, it is the most preferred channel of communication, they do the transaction part via other channels while only marketing via WhatsApp. So what's your take on it? How the educational organization should leverage utility and service as well, rather than just going for the marketing communication?
Yeah, I think that's sort of one of the biggest, I would say, mistakes that we're seeing organizations make, right? Just using WhatsApp for marketing, which is also where the end customer is starting to, one, see it more as spam, right? And two, just I'm not sure how many are aware. I'm sure, like from a platform standpoint also, for we see the value in utility and we see the value in sort of service related use cases, right? So that's where we also drop the prices. So couple things, right? Even from our standpoint, we want to ensure WhatsApp doesn't become another SMS and email, which people don't open, right? And the engagement rates don't drop. So from our end also, we are consciously ensuring that we are striking that fine balance of how many messages go to people, etc., all of that, right? And even pricing is playing an important role of what marketing messages are priced at versus utility and the others. But I would say, like I said earlier, right, if it all needs to be in one persistent thread, that's really where you'll be able to build stronger, more meaningful relationships with the student, right, with the parent, because then they know to come to you right there, even if they have questions. So if they're customer queries, right, if they have issues that they're facing, they know they can come to that one WhatsApp channel. If they need to make a payment for their fees, you send a reminder, and they definitely see that as a true value add, right? Because you're helping them remember when a payment or fees is due, instead of the parent having to remember. So I would say the organizations do need to see WhatsApp as a more holistic channel, and as you're thinking of like your communication strategy overall, really planning for it holistically, because the more you're breaking it up into SMS, email, one, the engagement rates there are very, very low compared to a WhatsApp. Two, it's also a very broken experience for the customer. And three, the data points you will get to really assess the ROI of a channel will be a lot stronger if you're using one channel and are able to see, you know, the benefits across the three different use cases than saying I'm running marketing here, I'm running utility there, and, you know, like X, Y, and Z in different channels to really say, okay, finally, where are these leads coming from? What's the true value that is being added by each channel? If that's all happening on one, it's a better assessment of the, you know, ROAS, your CAC, your ROI, because then you have a full funnel view, right? You ran ads, you got your leads, you got someone to browse your catalog, you were able to collect payments to run for your application fees, right? If you do a full funnel conversion and data measurement, you will be able to assess the effectiveness of this channel a lot better than having application fee requests being sent on email or having a catalog being sent on SMS and not knowing where the customer actually dropped off. Right now, if it's all on one thread, you can see exactly where the customer came, where they dropped off, what you need to build up on, what's not working, and really figuring out, okay, this is the revenue I'm getting from the ads that I ran. So your ROI of that full funnel and the full view that you can get from WhatsApp.
Correct. I think Aditi, just want to add from my experience. See, this is more of this like this mindset of only doing the marketing or not creating a journey or not doing an engagement is just also because of the traditional approach which was followed by the other traditional channels like email and SMS, where people mostly follow a unidirectional approach that the email has been broadcasted to X number of people or the short messages have been
So
broadcasted
check in the box. Yeah.
in the box, right? You just need to deliver it. Getting the responses, making engagement, and nurturing is a very special task. And you have correctly mentioned that only doing marketing templates via WhatsApp is a mistake. A university or EdTech or coaching centers should deploy all the channels of communication, all the important conversation on WhatsApp, and Meta has revised the utility rates as well. So it's very competitive as compared to SMS. The way at the cost at which you can send an SMS, WhatsApp utility templates can also be triggered. So at every junction of student activity, all the transactional communications must be sent on WhatsApp as a mandate. Other channels can be added as a backup, but WhatsApp is a mandate. Like whenever a student is registering on the website, give them a thank you message. They are making a payment, thank you message and acknowledgement. They are submitting the application, thank you message. So utility has to be deployed at each and every stage. This is I'm explaining for the larger audience. Additionally, you have rightly mentioned that Meta is checking the balance in utility, marketing, and service communications. For example, every WABA number, which is making some kind of engagement, in case they are doing 100% marketing, then the chances of getting spam increases far more as compared they are having heavy usage of utility and service engagements where students are having a chat with the college, live chat with the university. So keeping a balance between utility, marketing, and service is very important. And service and utility should be preferred. Marketing should be done behind them, right?
Yeah, I would say those two are right, like you rightly said. And the unique value proposition for WhatsApp is the two-way communication, right? The asynchronous messaging that it brings, unlike an SMS or an email. So, and you would have seen, I think all of us, many of us, you know, no one's answering phone calls, right? It's spammy. No one wants to get on a call with a CCP. I'd rather ping someone and then get a response, right? At whenever it's convenient for me. So I think that's really what's also playing to our strengths. And it is important to strike a balance because it's marketing messages are more business, like pushed by the business, right? So we do track whether it's just, you know, marketing versus utility and servicing is a customer coming to you as well. And the engagement that really tells you the health of your chatbot, the health of the engagement really that you're having with the end sort of customer there. And that's really the true balance, right? To your point of re-engagement and communication, and how do you ensure you're sort of continuing to re-engage with the customers? I know many of you guys clicked on that as the options. I think these play a critical role. So would urge the teams to think through it holistically versus just using WhatsApp for marketing.
Correct. I think this takes up to our next question, which many of the people have mentioned in the question round as well. So see, as you have correctly mentioned, that many people are not taking the opt-in, they are just doing the bulk broadcast, they are not sending personalized messages, then they are only doing marketing rather than having the utility, transactional, and other service communications as well. As a result, many of the educational organizations, they are seeing a drop off in the marketing message delivery rate. For example, earlier, uh, let's say 2 years back, in case someone was sending 10 lakh messages, 98% of those messages were delivered. And those
Right.
2% which was not delivered were people who have not installed the WhatsApp or their internet is off, something like that. But 98% was the delivery rate in marketing messages. This was 2 years back. Versus the current scenario, many of the organizations are receiving a delivery rate of 60%. In case someone has a specific scenario, then they can receive a delivery rate of 20%. So they are seeing a drop off in delivery rate. So what are the major causes of it, and how Meta is working to solve that particular scenario? Can you please explain?
Yeah, so just going back, right? One, if it's not delivered, you're not being charged. So I hope everyone's seeing that. Right. So if that message doesn't get delivered, you're not going to be charged for that message, a marketing message. Two, for us, it's customer first, right? The end user first, because we want to ensure health of the app and engagement. If we can't bring the users to you, most of the businesses won't be leveraging WhatsApp going forward, right? So first and foremost, what's really critical to us is ensuring the and like the customer base continues to stay engaged on WhatsApp, right? So we very closely monitor the hours spent on WhatsApp on a daily basis. Right. So that's one of our key metric when we talk about health of the app. And with all those marketing messages, like you were saying, that were happening, I think year before last, we saw that starting to deteriorate, right? Which was a major red flag for us. Because without that, there is no other WhatsApp business messaging side, right? There are no businesses without end users on the other side. It's both sides of the ecosystem that are critical. So that's really where we've also learned over the years. We continue to enhance the algos that are running in the backend. We also continue to have multiple different features that the partners, right, the PSPs, Meritto can help you guys with. We have lead optimization, purchase optimizations. So we've launched features that are going to help you get more, these marketing messages a lot more successful and targeted, right? So one, we are also checking on how many people are reading it, right? The ones that you are sending those marketing messages to. Accordingly, we've also capped how many users can get messages from a business over a week or a day. So it's not limited to one business, right? Saying you as the institute can send 10 businesses a day. It's more me as Aditi, I should only be receiving 10 business messages across a week by n number of businesses, right? So I cannot be spammed. Again, 10's just hypothetical. Those algos are what's running in the background and constantly changing. And we're building multiple different logic into it, right? So say you send a marketing message, if someone responds, then you can send another message. But if no one responds, you cannot send another one within X period. So again, we're doing a lot of this with marketing messages only to ensure the health of the app and to really ensure that those messages are truly adding value to the end customer, right? And they're engaging with it. It's not just spammy. Which is why I said there's a lot of this personalization, right? High sort of rich media, etc. That's also plays a very critical part. And we ourselves also then really encouraging in pushing utility related messages. So things like reminders, right? Things like actually sort of, nudging them, giving them updates, giving them placement updates. So many of these that may be more, day to day, but of value to the customer as well, is where we're nudging businesses to sort of do and really think through their strategy. What's really the focus area or objective that they are out there to sort of drive? And what will truly build stickiness of that chatbot. It's not just a one-time get a lead and then move on.
Correct. So thank you so much for that insight. I like to reiterate that. So you have mentioned that to maintain the healthy ecosystem of WhatsApp, to maintain the overall time which audience is spending over the WhatsApp, Meta is continuously changing their algorithms, and based on their algorithms, based on the kind of engagement a college is making, the delivery rate is decided, right? So Meta has launched multiple algos like frequency capping. Just want to explain for the larger audience as well. The frequency capping, where certain set of communication can be sent to a particular student by certain set of brands, right? And then you have mentioned that per usage limit or something like that. So these are in response to making the healthy ecosystem, correct?
That's right. Yeah, it's not at a business or a merchant level, right? Just want to call out. So it's not saying, okay, education as a segment cannot send messages A by C, and retail can send or e-commerce can send it. It's very VABA account specific actually. So very chatbot specific. So that for that phone number, right? From that phone number, we are also observing, because a business can have multiple phone numbers, right? Like a bank has multiple for collections, for customer grievances, etc., because they want to keep it separate. So we are actually monitoring it at that level, and also sort of seeing, right? So it's not so utility and service related, where a customer is initiating the message is not capped at all. Right. The only
Okay.
messages that are capped are marketing messages, because those are really things that a business is reaching out to, where we're ensuring, it's allowed across the board, but where we're closely monitoring to see, okay, if a business has sent X messages, how many really have responded? What's the engagement rate? Who's blocking it, right? How many what's the unread rate, etc. So there are multiple factors that are being sort of played around with, for us to learn. And then what we're also doing as part of all of these optimization, features and pilots that we're running, is we're leveraging all of the different signals, right? So if you're on CAPI, right, if you're on sort of the cloud API and things, or conversions API, is where every time maybe you get that conversion is what's feeding back into ads and marketing messages, right? So Meta's feeding that signal back into those algos for you to then, and for us to automatically send better messages. So then this will also become more automated than you having to think, I'm only going to send messages to X, Y, and Z, right? So we are saying, okay, say, sort of University X sent the same message to Antariksh and Aditi. Aditi clicked on it. She sort of enrolled for the course. That signal will be sent back to our ads engine, right? Marketing messages and ads, to say, what's Aditi's profile? The next ad and message, let's run it and let's make sure it's delivered to those similar profiles, and
All
not
right.
to an Antariksh profile, right? So that's the work then our optimization engines at the back end will ensure. So delivery rates, etc. More than that, your conversions rate should also go up, the engagement on marketing messages.
Got it. So what you want to mention is, for example, there are two universities, University A and University B. Both of the universities have sent same number of messages to the same student. The one who is having higher sort of engagement, the one who is having better to and fro chat between the students, will have higher chances of delivery. Is that right?
If there's engagement, then that's a possibility. That is one data point that will feed back in.
Okay, so data point which are important is the overall read rate, the overall engagement which student is making with the college or university, the kind of bi-directional communication is going on. So bi-directional communication is preferred as compared to the unidirectional communication, right?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Because then that's telling us that it's only a one-way sort of, message that's going through. It's not something that a user is opening or they're engaging with. So may not be of use to that particular user. And that's where we'll also feed back those optimized signals to see if next time around, who is it that the message needs to be delivered to.
Got it. So this is an important learning for the entire audience. We should be making a bi-directional communication. Our template should be designed in such a way that students respond you back and they engage, they take next steps, they ask questions, they press buttons, they do some kind of activity which build the overall engagement and increase the overall chances of your delivery. And this complete delivery ecosystem is defined by the meta algorithms, which are based on the factors which are completely in your control as in overall engagement, overall response rate of the student, and the optim or the best practices which you are following. Now let's move on to the next question. I think there is another question in the chat. How do I send? Okay. Okay, so I would like to answer this question from Rakesh sir. So Rakesh sir has mentioned that how do I send WhatsApp notification using a customized template? So this is very much possible in Meritto. You just need to create a template in the template manager. You need to add the personalization token. Let me give you an example that a particular set of students have initiated the application form but have not done the payment. So what kind of communication you can do? Dear first name, thank you for showing your interest in the ABC University. We can see that you have initiated the application, but the payment is still pending. Please take the next step because the admission is flowing on this particular date. So this is how you can create the template in the template manager of Meritto. In case you are already using the Meritto, you can reach out to your customer success manager. In case you are a new prospect, please reach out to your sales box so that he can guide you how you can utilize Meritto for WhatsApp communication. Now, you have already mentioned most of the pointers. Can you please summarize, Aditi, that what are the common mistakes or misconceptions organizations have while using the WhatsApp Business API? Although we have done the majority of the discussion, just for the brief summarization.
Yeah, I think predominantly this, right? I think the first thing is being really clear about what your objective is, right? Why do you want to use WhatsApp? I think businesses think many of the internal cross-functional teams want to leverage it for different things. I don't think they're aligned. And then, we hear, oh, we're not getting the ROI or we're not seeing conversion, etc. Right. So it's very, very important upfront to be very clear of what that goal objective it is that you're trying to leverage WhatsApp to solve for you. And then ensure that the journey is extremely seamless, right? So fewer clicks, fewer back and forth, like we said, right? More interactive, use video. We now have Gen AI, we have voice, we have all, many different sort of carousals, multiple different features that are now available. So really sort of leverage that versus making it like a plain vanilla bot. And, of course, ensure that you have data measurement in place. Right. So across the funnel, you are getting some, the level of reporting, etc., that you require to really gauge, what is it that you're calling as the key success factors? What's the key metric that you would say defines success for the WhatsApp bot? And ensure then you're measuring that as well. Right. Many times the whole data measurement part is after the fact when the bot's built out and everything's happened, to really sort of see, okay, is the conversion happening? What is it that we should be looking at, etc. And people see one-off data points and say, oh, it's just 3% conversion, but it's not apples to apples. You're not measuring it correctly. So I think that's the other piece. And then, of course, I would say a lot of, really sort of like the personalized piece. I couldn't say, say more about how important that is. So just personalize it, customize it. If you can, automate it using, all of the Gen AI features that we have, because that will give a more human touch to it as well. It'll reduce your workload and cost, but also ensure that, you're giving a more interactive human-like feel to many of the queries that are coming on, and that can be more personalized as well when they're responding to the customer. So a lot of that, and you can also use it for a lot of the customer grievances, right? So a huge success factor for us, or success story, is with multiple industries using it for customer support. And you can do a large part of that customer support, the FAQs or that you usually face with messaging. And if there's still some unresolved issues, then we have things like voice, where they can then directly connect to the call center, right? And then it's a very sort of targeted approach on which IVR or which line you want to route them to. So I think those are largely it, right? If you need to be very clear upfront on how and what you want out of the channel, and then really sort of thinking about it holistically. Don't get siloed into just, WhatsApp. We do have a family of apps that you can use to maximize the ROI, but continue to see how you re-engage with the customer to really build those stronger relationships.
Got it. So moving on to our next question, which people want to understand. So earlier, WhatsApp was having in 2020, 3 to 4 years back, WhatsApp was having a few of the features like simple text template, and there was second one was the media template. Text template, which has a character limit of 1024 characters, and the media template where you can send videos or attachments or something like that. So Meta has evolved WhatsApp with so many features in last 4 years. What are the latest features and what are the upcoming ones as well?
Yeah, so I'd say, of course, we have, I think in the last year, we've also gone pretty crazy with the amount of sort of features that we've launched. But that's also because of the need and really ask, right, or gaps we had seen in the market. So we have multiple different. So of course, I mean, audio was there. You could send images, right? You can send videos. Now you can also do sort of, catalogs and carousels. So very targeted, up to 10 to 15, items that you show in a visually appealing manner. You can actually give, where limited time offers, right? You also have a CTA where someone can, you can have a remind me button. So the person can come back to the chatbot at X day and X time. You obviously have payments now. So I think that's also a critical one that we've launched, because historically a lot of the payments was just happening with external payment links. So where someone would click on it, but we'd see a lot of fraud happening because people were just getting redirected, right? Of course, with UPI, we saw a lot of digital payments, but with that also came fraud. So to add more controls to it, as well as sort of improve the success rates, is where we've actually launched a native payments feature. So the end-to-end payments, you can pay with UPI, credit, debit. There's no limitation. All of that can happen right within the WhatsApp platform, similar to like your Zomato, Swiggy, Big Basket experiences, right? Where you're selecting the app and you can continue to pay and, sort of close it out right within that. That's helped reduce the hops, external hops as well. So there are minimal drop-offs, etc. that's happening. And it also helps the customers because it gives you a confirmation within WhatsApp, right? For them to come back to say, yes, I've completed the payment for this month. I've completed the payment for this course. So it's their one go-to chat where they can go for every and any sort of engagement that they've had with you as a brand and keep track of. Right. The other, of course, like click to WhatsApp ads is, doing phenomenally because of just the ROI, and, you can run ads on Instagram and click to WhatsApp. The other ones that we have are flows. So what we call, so it's a form that you can really capture the customer's information in. So you don't have to do the back and forth that makes the experience lengthy. That's being used by multiple, right, even education institutes to capture the leads, by banks to do KYC. So a lot of exciting features there. And of course, we have Gen AI. I think that's the biggest one. We have our own large language model called Llama, but WhatsApp's an open platform. So people can build using, Gemini, using ChatGPT and any other LLM as well. And we're seeing very innovative use cases with people, voice-enabled ticket bookings, right? Voice-enabled bots, where they understand the discussion using any voice, using any sort of language, right, including Indian vernacular languages, and the bot responds. So I think there's a lot of exciting and innovative ways that, different businesses are leveraging it, and which is where they're, the flexibility that the platform provides, the innovation that it does, is where they're seeing higher engagement and conversion as well.
Got it. So in terms of the all those features, carousel and flows always get a special attention. Can you please explain the usability of those two specific features? Because those features are also being planned in the Meritto as well. So how people can use those features?
Yeah, I think carousel, we've seen a lot of success, right? Because it's a lot of images and videos that you can use. So it's literally, I think, a stack of 10, right? It's what we call carousel, because you can keep screening through or scrolling through the different images. And each of those images can be very targeted to the customer. So if you think the customer would be interested in these 3 courses, you can actually share details about those 3 courses with, nice pictures, videos, with a button or a CTA that's saying, click now to download the brochure, or click now to learn more on the website, right? So that's on you. Or you can share more material on WhatsApp as a video or a PDF. And carousels, what you can also do is now you can actually have coupons associated with it. So when someone actually clicks on any course they're interested in, they can also avail a coupon, and that will also drive conversions. So we are continuously enhancing that carousel feature as well. So while it's great from a UI UX standpoint, it's helping targeting. These whole conversion and offers piece is actually helping drive more conversion also using carousels. And flows, again, a lot of, sort of utilization, because that's just reducing your chatbot journey, right? Like I said, like think about it. So it's seamless. A customer doesn't have to go to like 20 different steps to get to the final outcome. You will have higher drop-offs. So with flows, that's become possible. So say you've had, you ran an ad, you want to do leads generation, you can actually capture all of the details about the student in just a form. So it's literally as if a form would be filled out, would be created. And it's just different pages that come up within the form. So, we can always sort of share, and I'm sure Antriksh can give you like sort of demos of what the look and feel is.
Right.
But these are really making the engagement richer, reducing the number of steps that a customer has to do just to sort of, get to the final outcome.
Right. So thank you for that particular insight. Moving forward, you have already mentioned that people are engaging most of their time on the WhatsApp. They are, making discovery on Facebook and then engaging on WhatsApp and then making the final payments on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is going to be a very important part in their personal life. In terms of data security, how WhatsApp is going to ensure that entire data is secure and all the educational organizations can completely shift on WhatsApp with respect to other channels with complete security.
Yeah, so I mean, that's our, sort of core principle. We're privacy first, right? So you would have seen, and why really our USP is being end-to-end encrypted. So what we do is that particular chatbot is the channel for that business, right? So WhatsApp doesn't have insights or a view into what conversations are happening within the chatbot, the back and forth, right? The chatbot provider has implemented it for you. They would be able to share the data, etc. Also, depending on whatever data principles and contracts you have signed with them, right? So they will only save the information that you ask them to. So it's a very personal channel between the business and the user. We don't have a view of it. We do not use that information since we don't have the information. So we will never upsell, cross-sell. That's out of the question, right? Similar to other apps, etc. That's, that's unlike the other apps. And it continuously, again, it's a global app. So we don't have an India specific app, right? Or a US specific app. Whatever it is a global app. So we are already ahead of the game with, it's GDPR approved because we are there in Europe, for example, right? So large part of like the foundational building blocks of data privacy, consents, etc., is baked into the platform. I know there are new digital privacy sort of laws that are coming in India too. So we stay very close to all of the rules, regulations, etc. of the local markets. So we have large policy teams that are clued in, and we're ensuring we are baking in as the features come in, etc. upfront. So there are extensive like audits. So that's why you see all of the financial services, the banks are on the platform as well. We have audits that's been approved and signed off by RBI. So if the banking institutions are leveraging it, that can tell you sort of the scale of the amount of security, etc., that we've passed. And that's the key component for us, right? So we continue to ensure that all of those requirements, the laws of the land are followed. But more than that, it is a global app. So, a lot of the privacy stuff is privacy first, and that's what we build up on. So then it's only the plus anything that are market specific nuances.
Got it. Got it. So since you have mentioned the channel, many of the educational organizations also reach out to us. So they have built their channel on WhatsApp. I think that's a very interesting feature Meta has launched recently. They are asking anytime in future, do you have any plan for launching such any API where people can send the bulk communication over their own channels, which are created in WhatsApp? So any of the plan in roadmap?
Nothing as of now that I can talk about publicly. So nothing that we're aware of and how to leverage. But yeah, that's another, because that's again like a one-way broadcast channel. So that's more to ensure that you can sort of keep your groups and followers updated. So that also requires consent, right? For someone to follow your channel first in order to get updates. So to my point of ensuring consent is baked in as the first point. But yeah, nothing as of now. So these still continue to be independent channels because they're for two very different purposes, right? The WhatsApp bots are for really one-on-one engagement and two-way communication, versus channels are really to ensure all your broadcasting can be done there.
Right. That's a great alternative of YouTube as well, where I'm following these set of channels. I can receive all the important updates there, and
That's right.
that's getting a huge surge in the last, I think, 6 months.
That's right. We do have a lot of content creators and influencers and news channels and things there.
I think that can be a future. That can be a future in terms of the broadcast, in case Meta is planning to monetize it, if by chance. Right. So let's move on to the next question. Let's say there is an educational organization who is very new to the WhatsApp, and they want to shift from the traditional channels like email, SMS, telephony, and other, and they want to build their focus on WhatsApp. What is the one piece of advice you want to give to them, how they can start, and what kind of practices they should follow?
I would say start now. We can help. But yeah, I think just we have a lot of businesses that are using solely WhatsApp for all of their communications. So it has, I think, just investigation. Like I said, the first part is really what your overall strategy is. What are you trying to accomplish with the channel, and then ensure that you're working very closely with a partner, right? Partner like Meritto, etc., that can guide you through the different features, what's available today. Because I think designing is a core component. Don't just dive straight into sort of pulling together and creating the chatbot and implementing the chatbot, but really spending some time upfront on solutioning and design, right, of what the chatbot or how you'll be leveraging WhatsApp and sort of that whole ecosystem holistically looks like, is something that you should do upfront before diving right in. So I would say, yeah, pick the right partner. I think that's a critical point, critical component for you to be successful if you're moving to WhatsApp as a channel, because many of our features, etc., first come out only to a limited set of partners and then are rolled out to the broader audience. So the managed partners are pretty critical to sort of work with, and then just spend time on really thinking through like solutioning and designing it before you dive right into implementing it.
Right. So plan the communication strategy and then implement it on WhatsApp.
Absolutely. Plan the strategy and plan how you want to, the all of the features that we have. So you actually make it a very appealing, engaging experience on WhatsApp, right? Because communication strategy is more holistic on the different use cases you want to do, but really how that would translate into the chatbot, right? What features, how are you minimizing the number of steps? All of that rehashing, reiterating needs to be done upfront versus after the fact and once you've created the bot. Then it takes a lot more effort and cost and time if you have to keep fixing it after the fact.
Got it. So let's say there is an educational organization, they are spending a lot on WhatsApp, they are sending a lot of broadcast messages, they have deployed automations, they are engaging, they are sending messages to the students, but they are not getting the desired outcome, as in they are mentioning that I have sent a message to 10 lakh people or 20 lakh people, but I am not generating applications, or I'm not receiving desired delivery rate or open rate or click rate. So how can you help them? What is the probable solution which can help them to attain their objectives?
Yeah, so I think a key part is really, you may not be getting the right objective of that you signed up for, but the outcomes, but really sort of then diving into the data, right? To really see what is that funnel looking like. So if you're sending a broadcast to 10 lakh, how many of those are really truly engaging with you? Right? And then at what point of the funnel are they dropping off? That in itself will give you a lot of insights, right? If at the first point itself, you see that people aren't engaging of the 10 lakhs, you're doing something wrong right there, right? To the point, and many of the pointers we discussed today, think through the personalization, think through customization. Are you just sending a blanket, broadcast to everybody? That won't work. Right. So I think it really depends. And the first step I would say is really analyzing the data across the funnel to understand how many people is it reaching and what the conversion is, where the drop-offs are, to then take a very targeted sort of steps, right? Then you know exactly where the problem is and what you need to solve for.
Got it. So before we wrap up, just the last question for the audience. What are the upcoming features Meta is going to launch in WhatsApp, and how WhatsApp is going to evolve in near future?
Yeah, so I think, I mean, from what is out there in beta already is, one key one that's obviously the voice enabled feature that we have. So voice, one way is just you speaking the audio that you're, sort of sharing on WhatsApp. But what we are talking about is actually we'll have a voice, calling symbol on the chatbot itself. So where you can, you can actually directly reach out to the business as well. So that's the part I was saying, that you can actually deep link it to your call center. So that's something that we are working to, so that, a lot of these, support, etc., even for lead generation, you can actually reach the sales rep, right? If the customer wants to know more, etc., versus waiting for incoming. So consent can be taken and all of that if they are calling you. That's one. And I think Gen AI will really sort of change the landscape, right? We're seeing AI being used in multiple different forms, and it's really going to make conversations a lot more contextualized and a lot more seamless. So even that back and forth would just be a very fluid conversation that's happening, with the bot taking on more of it, right? If I'm saying something, I'm saying, show me some of the top colleges or some of the top courses that are there in University X, then that's what the bot would just, share those recommendations upfront. Lenskart, for example, is already doing it, right? When I say they don't have to upload the entire catalog, I only have to say, show me some round framed glasses in pink, and it'll show all of the different they'll show you only those relevant items or products that are round glasses in pink. So a lot of these, for example, is how, the education segment can also think through and sort of leverage, because instead of a customer really have to discover, right? If I'm going for electrical engineering, or if I'm going for sort of a business course or AI, really trying to understand, okay, which are the top courses, what are the high related courses, who are the top faculty members that are there, right, that I should be taking courses from. I think a lot of that, and then recommending that you might want to think about X, so you might want to think about Y. A lot of that will, I think, get a lot more richer and contextualized, versus feeling like you're talking to a bot.
All right. All right. Thank you for a detailed explanation. I think that's very important. What are the latest features which you have mentioned, that voice calling on the WhatsApp based on the consent given by the student, and then the generative AI. Even Meritto is working on the AI part. We are going to have a conference that how educational organizations can leverage generative AI. Currently, the limited use case of AI is using NLP and ML based bots, but generative
Right.
AI bots will be the next step, which will decide the upcoming decade. Thank you so much for joining with
Absolutely.
us, Aditi. And the
My
last
pleasure.
question, which is in the chat, I want to answer regarding the pricing model. The current pricing model is for the marketing, utility, and service session. That's a 24-hour session, right? And in near future, it will be converting into the message-based cost. To know more, you can reach out to your customer success manager. Thank you so much for joining, Aditi. Thank you for the audience.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.